On a bleak Vancouver winter day, David finally saw the truth. He hadn't rescued a family. He had built a shrine to his own delusion. For 7 long years, he poured his life into Sarah and her son, Leo. The mortgage, vacations, private school, clothes. Every bill, every meal, every luxury. He had given them stability, and they had given him a title, provider. Not husband, not father, not partner. Just the man who paid the bills. In that house, gratitude was as rare as sunshine in February. Sarah treated his kindness like an invoice to be paid, and Leo treated his generosity like oxygen expected, unnoticed, and completely unearned. David still remembered meeting Leo when he was just 10. A skinny kid clutching a battered backpack, asking in a trembling voice, "Is this room really mine?" David had knelt beside him. "All yours, buddy." The boy smiled, and it was the first real connection between them. But 7 years later, that hopeful child was gone. Now, Leo was 17, dripping with entitlement and contempt, shaped by a mother who rewarded manipulation and punished accountability. The first crack in David's world came quietly. One night, he overheard Sarah whispering through Leo's bedroom door, "Just apologize to David and he'll give you your privileges back. You know how he is when sorry and he forgets." David realized he wasn't a father. He was a vending machine with feelings no one cared to acknowledge. But he held on, convinced his love could fix it. He held on until the day everything snapped. It happened on an ordinary Thursday. David came home early, hoping for a surprise family dinner, a moment of connection. Instead, he froze in the hallway as Leo's voice drifted down from upstairs. "Of course I'm getting the new car. David's paying the idiot, always does." Total sucker. That one word. Sucker. 7 years of sacrifice sharpened into a single brutal blade. David stood motionless, replaying every memory, teaching Leo to ride a bike, building his science fair project, comforting him after nightmares, cheering at his school events, giving him more than his own father ever had. His breath steadied, his vision cleared. Something inside him cracked, not violently, but permanently. At dinner, he sat across from them. Sarah was chattering mindlessly while Leo was glued to his phone. Then David spoke. "I heard you on the phone today." Leo just shrugged. "So what?" Sarah immediately tried to intervene. "He's just a teenager. Shut up, Sarah." The room went silent. David had never, ever raised his voice at her. He had never pushed back. But tonight, the dam burst. He looked directly at Leo. "Am I a sucker? After everything I've done for you?" Leo glared. "Don't talk about my dad." "Your dad?" David thundered. "The man who left you? The man I replaced for 7 years? Where was he when you needed him?" A heavy, absolute silence filled the room. The truth they had avoided for years was finally out. David was done being their servant, their ATM, their doormat. Something irreversible had begun. The next 3 weeks felt like purgatory. Leo became polite too polite, a robot going through the motions. "Yes, David. Sure, David." He met his curfew, showed his grades, did his chores, but there was no sincerity, only cold calculation. Meanwhile, Sarah grew distant. More makeup, more perfume, more late-night walks, more time glued to her phone. David knew the signs. One rainy night, she came home, hair damp, cheeks flushed. "It wasn't from the weather. You're talking to him again, aren't you?" David asked. She froze. "Who?" "Mark, the coward who abandoned you." Her silence was a confession. Finally, she broke. "He regrets it, David. His other woman left him. He wants his family back." "And you?" David asked, his voice shaking. "Do you want him back?" Sarah's hesitation was louder than any confession. "He asked Leo's father. He hasn't been." "Leo's father for 7 years," David roared. "I have." But her mind was made up. And then the final betrayal came down the stairs. Leo, with a backpack slung over his shoulder. "We're leaving," he said, his voice flat. "Going back to my father. No please, no apology. Just cold dismissal." David looked at the two people he had saved, only to realize they were running back to the man who'd thrown them away. His response was ice. "Pack your things. I want a divorce." "You have until morning." They left that night with only their personal belongings and the car David had bought for Sarah. He watched from the doorway as their silhouettes faded into the rain, a man emptied, but finally free. The weeks that followed were agony. The house was a mausoleum of memories. The divorce was vicious. Sarah tried to rewrite history, calling him controlling and manipulative. But David had proof. Her journal detailing her plan to return to Mark, receipts from secret meetings, messages proving her betrayal. The judge saw the truth. She left with nothing but her clothes and the car. David kept the house and his self-respect, but the depression was brutal. He hit rock bottom on their anniversary, staring at the dark water below his balcony. For a moment, he understood despair, but he didn't jump. He chose life. He started therapy. He began to heal. Self-respect returned like the spring thaw. David rebuilt his world, piece by piece. He got a promotion, rediscovered his love for the mountains, joined a book club, and made real friends. And then he met Sophia. Warm, real, authentic. She had her own scars, but her heart was steady. Together, they built something pure, a partnership, a family. And against all odds, they had a miracle child, Noah. Holding his son, David finally understood what family truly is. It's not an obligation or a transaction, it's a choice. Sometimes the most painful endings are just beginnings in disguise. If you've ever felt lost or overwhelmed, please know there's help available. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories like this.